Hello, my name is Brigitta Toruño and my company is Uno Translations and Communications. I started the business November 1998, 13 years ago. Uno Translations and Communications was originally called Uno Communications, and just recently I did change the name to Uno Translations and Communications for many reasons. Uno Translations and Communications offers translation services in over 100 languages. And what we do is put the company's written word, in other words, your websites, your marketing materials, your public relations materials, we put them in many other languages so that your company can increase their bottom line by being able to reach out globally and also to immigrant groups throughout the United States. Uno Translations and Communications has been a home-based business for 13 years, and we are in Lansdowne, Virginia. And we decided to keep it as a home-based business. It has worked well for us, and we have employees that come to the business, and it has worked just fine for us. When we have a client that we're working with, 99% of the time our transactions are by computer. I personally do make it a point to meet with all of my clients in their office, but there hasn't been a need to bring them to our office to meet or to look over projects. I was in the corporate world for many years before I decided to start my business 13 years ago. And before I left, I started to slowly make some cold calls to companies around the Washington metropolitan area. And that is how I found my first customer. And actually that customer is still my client to this day, 13 years, my very first customer. When I first started, I really felt it was important for me to work with clients that were in an industry that were close to my heart. And healthcare is an industry that is very important to me because of health issues that my parents suffered for many years and how I saw the difficulty that they had in trying to understand their issues in a language that was not their native language, because my parents were from South America, my father from Argentina, and my mother from Ecuador. And so I often served as their interpreter. I tried to read the brochures to them in English and translate it to them into Spanish so that they would know exactly what was happening with their health and what they had to do next. So healthcare was very important to me, and so I was very lucky that my very first client was in the healthcare industry. And I'm very blessed to say that 13 years later, that first client is still our client and one of our major clients. And 13 years later, I would have to say that the type of client that we look for has not changed completely. It's very important to us to work in industries that have a lot to do with the passion that we have around our company. So it's still customers in the healthcare field, it's customers that have to do with finance and people, basically situations where immigrants tend to revert back to their native language in high pressure situations. And so that's what we hope that we can help people to get through those difficult moments. When we started the business 13 years ago, I feel that one of the successful things that we did in order to bring in clients was the cold calling, but most especially it was using our networks. And so again, some of the companies that I worked for before that in the corporate world, I was very fortunate that they became clients. And then from that moment until now, I have not done any advertising. So I've been very fortunate that our clients have come by word of mouth. In today's market, and which has been challenging in the last few years, we continue to use, I think the key thing is to give wonderful customer service, which I believe is something that is very important to me, and it's something that our company does well. And by giving very good customer service is helpful, so that that client will then be able to tell another company that they know, maybe if you need language translation services, this is the company that you should use. So I think that the most important thing for me is to give that great customer service so that the word of mouth does go out. It's also very helpful that a lot of our customers are in the healthcare industry, because I'm not going to say it's recession proof, but that hospitals, doctors, they are still working no matter what the environment is in the economy. Yeah, in this day and age, I would say that in order to bring in new customers, networking is very important. It's not something that happens overnight. It also depends on the type of customers that you're looking for. If you're looking more for consumers, then there's advertising that you can do in magazines. So a lot of it depends on who your customer is. If you're a business-to-business company, there's certain tactics, and I think if you're a business-to-consumer, there are other tactics. But I think that no matter what you do right now, it's very important to make sure that you use traditional marketing and social media marketing. I think that they're very different avenues, but very important to encompass all of that in order to make sure that you're getting to the correct people that will become your clients.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.